Ahoy there, today on the Red Sea. Today my employer held a catered leadership conference for managers only, aiming to improve employee morale. The employees were left out, hungry and had to work twice as hard to make up for absent managers. Reddit. What idiotic things has your job done for the benefit of the employees? They created a Facebook page and sent out an email with the link to everyone's work accounts advertising it and asking everyone to like them on Facebook. Facebook is blocked at my work. Mine is doing the same. They want us to promote a product and even set up a game with links to Facebook and Twitter. I guess they expect you to participate from home or something. I just might win a free water bottle. Fingers crossed. My old company was having a morale problem. Me and my coworkers had been pulling serious overtime trying to get all the work done. For 2 weeks straight we had essentially come in at 7:30 am and left at 6:30 pm without taking lunch. Finally, after we had openly started talking about how pissed we were that we were doing these hours and we were still getting ditched at for making tiny errors here and there, they decided to reward our department with lunch. When our lunch hour came, the 4 of us walked in to find all the food had been eaten by the managers, and they had left us 2 egg rolls and handful of fried rice. Morale had never been higher. Creating a on the second policy. You have to be at your desk exactly the second your workday begins. This has created an atmosphere where they find it really hard to get anyone to do anything extra. On the second the workday ends, everyone leaves. Before we did not care about a minute or two here and there. I used to work in catering as a chef, and we once catered a company-wide going-away party for the head of a large local company that makes exercise equipment. The reason that the company head was leaving was to go on a Mormon mission. But that's neither here nor there. The executives ate on a dais at the head of a large conference room, elevated a few feet above the ground. They ate smoked beef tenderloin with a calvados demi-glace, haricot vert, roast new potatoes, Caesar salad, and all manner of breads and rolls, with handmade chocolate mousse in a champagne glass for dessert. The employees, on the other hand, were left to mill about on the conference room floor and enjoy their fully catered meal of donuts. Yep. They got to eat malarkey store-bought donuts and watch their bosses and managers enjoy a multi-course fully catered meal in full view of the masses of peons. That was close to 10 years ago and it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. My company has an annual trip for people voted as MVP from each office location plus executives and salespeople who make quota. The trips are usually quite fancy. All expenses paid, affairs with tons of swag. Cut to the height of the Great Recession. We have our quarterly town hall meeting. The CEO stands there in front of a screen showcasing photos from this trip. Him talking about pictures of people receiving fancy watches and going on helicopter rides. While these photos are showing, he gives a speech about tightening our belts. No raises that year and all salaried employees having to take 2 weeks off without pay. With pictures of him and all the other execs in the background drinking champagne on a helicopter behind him. People were pissed to say the least. In my place of work, we have gotten extremely busy in the last few months. They expanded their stores into Florida. Instead of giving the employees much needed / deserved raises, we got oranges. Yes, oranges. They thought they were clever being in Florida and all. Just made me angry. A motivational speech was being given to some of our assembly guys, and 2 of their managers were trying to get them to see the importance of working hard as a team. Here is what they had to say. Think about slave ships. If everyone did not keep rowing through the storm, the boat would capsize and feed all drown. Casual passes. This is the most idiotic thing I have ever seen. You can be awarded or purchase a casual pass that lets you wear casual clothing anytime you like, not just Friday, if your manager approves. Oh, and if there's not a customer visit. It just strikes me as so childish. You can wear comfortable clothes today. Do not you feel rewarded? No. I feel manipulated and patronized. Maybe I'm just bitter. I worked in a call center for a large international insurance company. No customer visits. Had to dress in full business attire all the time. To answer the phone. They had jeans passes that you could purchase with actual money, but you still had to wear dress shoes / shirt. This is my bonehead move. I was new to managing in the taxi world and thought, hey, let's throw a BBQ and get to know everyone. Turns out a lot of Muslims are taxi drivers, and that Ramadan thing is kind of a big deal. Now I throw a what I call a halabka a few days before Ramadan starts. It's pretty nice. When I worked at McDonald's there was a month where they put a digital scale by the shake machine. We had to zero out the weight of a cone each time and make sure that every customer was getting exactly 5 ounces of ice cream a cone with too much got thrown out. It's hard to appreciate the difficulty of making a cone, let alone a perfect one, and this just ended up being a massive waste of time and money. Congratulations, you have won a dinner with your boss. Our grocery/pharmacy outlet was involved in a company-wide push to boost profits over the holiday season. If we came out on top with the greatest percentage increase over all other outlets, then we would receive a handsome Christmas bonus. We came out on top, but the only ones to reap the rewards were upper management. Among the 30+ employees we would have stood to make nearly $1,000 apiece for our hard work during the holidays. Instead, management split it among the top 3, giving them a little under $10,000 each. Those who complained were fired and given malarkey excuses why. I do not work for that malarkey company anymore, nor do I ever have to see the greedy management that kept me and my family from my rightful Christmas bonus. Duck M. We think it's in your best interest to not know how much the company pays of your insurance premium. Turned out it was 0%. It's only going to hurt you to learn more about the industry. You have learned enough. My wife is always flabbergasted at the crap my company wastes money on. The lamest was wooden back scratchers with the company logo on them. They handed out to everyone. Used to work at a movie theater as a supervisor, and later a projectionist. While we were making the transition to digital projectors, we were informed that we would be keeping 1 or 2 of the old film projectors in case one of the movies we were showing was not available in a digital format. They told us they were going to keep us on, but give us extra duties to justify the 80% reduction in workload. Seemed fair. Fast forward a few weeks, and we get the heads up that they wanted us to train a couple of managers on how to thread up a film projector and start it. They then had a giant appreciation party for us at a local go-kart track, where at the end told us that the managers were all going to be handing the projection equipment from then on. They then offered us all jobs as part-time regular employees starting at minimum wage, with an adjustment based on other merit raises we'd been given. I would have gone from 40 hours a week at $13 an hour to 25 hours a week at $8.75. On the last go-kart race I ran the general manager into a wall at 30 miles per hour. At my firm we used to have this CEO that felt really entitled, and he was a huge prick. The company HQ was in a 3-story building with 2 stairways, one on each end of the building. His office was next to the stairway entrance on one end of the building. For some reason, he believed this was an executive staircase and only he was allowed to use it. Whenever he found another employee in it, he would yell at them and threaten to write them up. So all employees had to use the other stairway regardless of where their office was in the building. Such a huge inconvenience. Well, we all had the last laugh. He goes on this great vacation to Europe and little did he know that while he was gone the board of directors had fired him. His company vehicle was removed from his property. His access to company networks was revoked. His key cards were deactivated, and his office was packed up and placed outside the building the morning he arrived. He was truly blindsided. He came in claiming his car was stolen, only to see it parked in the front ready for the next CEO. Comma. Former company I worked for decided to have a holiday bake-off, which instead of being a fun potluck turned into a nightmare. One manager decided to instill rules and make it a competition, assigning who was the head of each team, requiring each team to bring in a certain amount of dishes, and then making a voting criteria, all of which took away from actual work that had to be done. After personal time and money was spent on feeding coworkers, who only insulted the food as they were in competition. Albeit friendly, the winning team received a trophy and crappy water bottles with the company logo. Losing team, my team, aka not the CEO's team, because who is going to vote against the boss ... also received a trophy. It was a horse's ass that the manager decided to engrave my name on and insisted that I must keep prominently on my desk at all times for a year, including meeting with clients. I may have accidentally lost it when I quit a few months later. I work at a theater and were pushed to sell these membership cards to 2% of our guests. At the end of the year we ended up being one of the few theaters that ended up doing this. So instead of giving everyone bonuses or raises or even a thank you party, the GM got to fly all the way to California and Las Vegas. We also haven't not had anyone internally promoted within the last year and a half or so. The last 2 positions that were opened were filled from the outside. Needless to say, everyone's kinda pissed. My workplace has yearly mandatory barbecues. They call them meetings. The meeting lasts for about 20 minutes and the rest is BBQ and pool and stuff. Sounds awesome. But it is mandatory that you show up. And it is mandatory that you bring some food. You will be written up and or fired if you do not show up. So they scheduled this year's BBQ meet in the middle of the day on a day I already never work. Because I go to school. I kept telling them I could not miss a day. I'm in a really competitive program, 200 people trying to get into an 18 slot program. So I absolutely cannot duck up. And they said, if I do not show up, I'll get fired. So I did not show up. I actually forgot I was going to just show up late. And no one said anything. And no ducks were given. I saw the photos on Facebook and it just seemed really lame. All the stupid cliques were there. Same old bull malarkey. Just outside of work. Not getting paid for it. Every year my hotel holds a staff holiday party, at which door prizes are given away. Our main competitor had this the week before, and staff with friends and spouses at that hotel reported back to us about that party's door prizes. iPhones, iPads, mini fridges filled with beer or groceries. The grand prize a week for 4 at any hotel in their chain, including airfare and meals. Our party came, and my company's crapulence was revealed. All the door prizes were free 3 nights at specific hotels in our chain. No airfare. Nothing else. Crappy hotels in non-destination cities and towns. 3 nights free in a hotel you had no desire to see in a city you had zero reason to visit. And the prize winner had to cover their own airfare. Staff morale plunged to an all-time low when 1 month later the managers all had their weekend advance on a 4-day weekend at a nearby 5-star resort. All expenses covered including golf and sailing. If you are reading this, you made it until the end of the video. There is no more after this. Click the thumbs up button since you liked the video because you made it until the end. On screen there should be some more videos similar to this. So either go do something else or watch another video. That's it. I do not know why you are still here. What are you waiting for, a secret message or something? Okay. Are you ready?